all of you are doing well. My name is Shriya Bansal, and today we are going to talk about another very interesting problem based on recursion. Okay, so we have a few problems lined up now on recursion that we are going to solve. So let's take a look at the first problem. So the problem statement is very simple and it goes by the sense that you need to write a program to find the length of a string using recursion. Okay, so you have been given different strings, right? And you have to find out the length of that string. What do we mean by the length of that string? It basically means that you need to count the number of characters in that particular string and then present the output. For example, if the string is relevel, which is RELEVEL, it has 7 characters in it, right? And that is why the output is 7. Okay, if you take another input which is a string equal to programming, you can see there are 11 characters in it. That is why the output is 11. Okay, for example, let me take another string for your understanding. Let's say here I take another input, let's say array, which is a string. So here you can see that the total number of characters in this particular string is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and hence the output should be 5 over here. Now something important to note here in this question is that the question that you're going to solve here is to find the length of a string using recursion. Here you cannot use any iterative way to solve this, and you specifically have to use the way how recursion works and the concept behind recursion to solve this. Okay, so if you don't know recursion, I would recommend first to watch the videos for recursion and then come back here and then watch the solution for this problem. It is important that for solving this question, the basic concepts of recursions are absolutely clear to you, and then you go ahead and watch the solution. So let's see how we can actually solve this question. Now here we know very well that for any question to be able to solve using recursion, right, you need to have 3 things which are covered in the solution. The first thing is that it should have a base case, right? Because recursion is all about calling yourself on the smaller problems and then using the solutions of the smaller problem to solve the bigger problem, right? So at some point you would need to stop, and that stopping scenario would be the base case. Now here we will also have to do some self-work, right? Now when you call for a smaller problem, when you get its result, you also need to do some self-work on top of it in order to get the final output, right? So for that, we would be requiring it. And then here we would be also making the recursive call, right? Now think about this. If you have to find out, let's say, the length of the string relevel, okay? Now think of it that you have been given the task to find the length of this string, but you are very lazy and you cannot achieve the task by yourself. So what do is you assign the task to someone else, right? And tell them that just tell me the length of this string, right? And then I will just add 1 to it, and that will be my answer. And that makes sense also, right? That means you're very lazy to find the length of entire string, and you try to be smart and say that if someone can give me the answer for this problem, which is my smaller problem, then I will just add 1 to it and that will solve my problem, right? And that is correct as well, right? It will solve the problem. And then the person who was assigned this task also is very lazy and said that, if someone can actually give me the answer for this, right, then I will be able to just add 1 to it and then solve my problem. And this kind of thing happened at every level, and then the problem became this. When assigned to someone else, then it became this, right? And then it becomes this, and then it becomes this, right? Now this person also, who was assigned to find the length of the character of just one, like string of just one character, also was very lazy and said that, if someone else can do the job for the rest of the string, then I can just add 1 to it. Now at this case, we figured out our base case. And we said that here, in this scenario, the length or the answer is pretty much defined. You do not have to do any computation. So in this case, you returned 0. Okay. Now this person got the answer 0. He or she added 1 to it and then returned the answer. They got 1 is the answer. They add another 1 to it and then returned true. Again add 1 to it, 3. Again add 1 to it, 4. Again add 1 to it, 5. Again add 1 to it and 6. Now after doing all this, the person here said that I have done my job and the answer for my level is 6. Now for this problem, again we just add plus 1 to it and the answer is 7. Okay, so hence we can say that the length of the entire string is 7. And what you see over here is nothing but all the recursive calls that are happening. So this is our base case. These are all the recursive calls for the strings that we have, right? And then this is the self work that we are doing of adding 1 to it. Correct? Pretty easy. Nothing much that is happening over here. So, how would this look like in a pseudocode scenario would be something like this. So, you will basically write a function. Length, let's say, of string. This is the name of the function. And you basically pass the entire string to it. Okay, now remember you have to implement all the 3 things which are actually required to solve this question. Okay, so first I'll write the base case that if the string is actually empty, okay, that means there is no character in the string, then you simply return 0, right? Or rather write it like this, close. Okay, otherwise, and this here is the base case. Then what do we do? That once we have figured out the scenario for the base case and we return from here, we simply make a recursive call, which is again length of the string. Okay. Now if someone basically made a call for re-level, I basically want to make a next call to this. So that means the first character should be removed. So that means I need a substring from this to this. I need a substring starting from the very first index. So what do we do from that? We make a function call and we do str dot substring starting at the very first index. Okay, so what it will do, it will make a call from the first index to the very end of the string. Okay, and whatever is the answer we get from here, we will store it over here. Let's say in a variable res. So this is nothing but the work of our recursive call, right? And whatever we get the answer from here, we basically return res plus 1. Okay, and this is nothing but our self work, correct? So all the things in place, this is the solution for our problem. Whatever we get as the solution for our smaller problem, we just use that solution, add 1 to it, make it our solution and return that from our the function. Okay, so we can go ahead and quickly implement this as well. So we'll do exactly the same things. I'll make a function first. Function length of string, something like this. And in that we're getting the input of a string. Now if the string is empty, then we return 0, which was our base case. And then we basically call this function for str plus str dot substring 1. Okay, and we will store the result of the smaller problem in a variable res, and then from the current level we return res plus 1. Okay, now to test out if this function is working fine or not, I'm going to pass a few strings. Okay, and whatever is the output, I will print it. Okay. Okay, we have to go first to the location of this file. And then, see, we get the output 7. Okay. Let's try it out for another string. Let's say I try it out for Java or JavaScript rather. See, you get the output 10, which clearly denotes the number of characters. Let's try one more time over here, and this we get 11, which was defined in our input as well. So again, what did we all do? We first defined a base case. Right here, we defined the recursive call for the smaller problem. The bigger problem is to find out the length of, let's say, the string programming. The smaller problem is just to find the length of this string. And this is the self work we are doing. That means whatever solution we are getting for the smaller problem, we are using that, right, doing some self work on top of it and finding the solution for the bigger problem. Okay, so we've done what we've understood what the problem statement means, we've understood the logic behind solving it, and we have also written the code and implemented it to see if our logic works fine or not. Okay, so remember, in future also, whenever you see questions related to recursion, right, you have to apply the very same approach and think about how would you solve this. Okay, so I hope I was helpful in helping you understand this particular question, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.